Welcome back to AliExpress Tech, where we're going to find some of the most unique, cool, and cheap gadgets on the internet. Wait, what? Did I miss something here? Why is everything 144% more than normal? That's weird. And the number has changed yet again to this. What is this number? I don't know, we'll see by the time this video goes live. Alrighty, let's see exactly what we've got from our somewhat inauthentic items from AliExpress. Oh, this is both illegal and a weapon. That's a great combination.
It's a what?
It's a
device
style gaming mouse.
Ah.
So this is a dupe of the Ragnarok, which we covered on Mystery Tech a year or so ago.
Ragnarok?
Whoa, oh, actually this is a little different than the Ragnarok. Oh, what the hell? What is this? Why is this mechanism here? Oh, that's cool!
Oh, wait a minute.
Now hold on a second. I thought this was a Ragnarok dupe. This is actually cooler, because the Ragnarok was just like a mouse, like you just slid it around like, a mouse. This has wheels. Yes, it does look, it has these little wheels. All right, let me plug it into my PC and actually try to play a bit with it, but like, holy. So one thing I've noticed with the mouse, and now that we've actually plugged it in, it definitely does not track up and down very well at all. It's really meant for more left to right kind of things, which I'm a little concerned about, because if I want to like aim down or up, I've really got to sort of lean into it. That's probably why they're telling me to swinging up and down motion is novel. So I think what you're supposed to do is left to right and then up and down. Does that make sense? I thought this was gonna be some goofy knockoff. This is actually one of the coolest things I've tried in a while. As with a lot of these sort of like unusual peripherals, there's a learning curve. And I do think if you spend some time with this, I can see some advantages because it does feel more natural on your wrist, right? Like it feels better than like a vertical mouse to me.
It can use a bit of refining, but
Yeah,
that's actually kind of cool.
Alex, how much do we pay for this device mouse that is far, far better than I thought it was gonna be?
We paid $31.
Oh!
Here's the thing, that's cheap enough. You could buy this just to experiment and use it for a couple weeks to see if you actually like it. I'm not gonna tell you this is gonna replace a mouse, right? Like you probably are still gonna wanna use a mouse for some things. The fact that it has the trigger and stuff, that's almost just like a red herring. Like that part doesn't even matter that much. It's just the fact that this actually is a completely different way of doing it. Now, to be fair, we're comparing this to the Ragnarok, which is much more like a regular mouse. This might still be a dupe of someone else's design.
I was not expecting you to get something actually good.
I wasn't either. I tried to buy fake stuff and like show us, oh, it's all fake. Oh, look at this. This thing is actually dope as hell. That is a terrific start for this video. I'm sure it's gonna be nothing but downhill from here.
I know.
I think I can figure out what this one is. The N64-bit controller.
It's see-through.
Yeah, so we did have a bunch of colors. I wanted to get the translucent orange, which looks pretty cool. So it doesn't say Nintendo, because copyright. But I will say that does look pretty legit.
That looks pretty much like
the
almost
buttons?
OEM.
So if you look at the way that the original stick works, it's sort of a long stick and it's just a little ball on the bottom, and so it'll go into each one of these detents. If you look at the third-party controller, it's much more like a normal controller. So it has little detents, but it's around the outside. So this is just basically like a normal stick you would find in any other controller. I don't know if I almost think I might slightly prefer the newer one. Mostly because the original N64 controllers were a little bit prone to failure with these sticks. So this is just a memory card, right? Okay, so you just plug this directly into the controller. So we should just do it something like this. Click in, and there we go. So we have a memory card. With this one, actually, I will say, does look like a real Nintendo thing because it says Nintendo on the plastic, Nintendo on the logo, and it's definitely a reproduction. So 100% a fake sort of memory card. So this is an original N64 and an authentic copy of Pokemon Snap. So all we're doing is we're just testing the controller and the memory card. You know what's nice about old games? Like no load screens, especially when it comes to something like the N64. Like it was just ready to go immediately. All right, well, the controller works well. Unfortunately, I can't test the actual save file. All right, cruising. Hey, okay, well, it made a save file, so I guess that works too. All right, now.
Nice.
I'm reeling them in. No! Bro, I was so outside that. These are both great. The controller is totally solid. The memory card seems to work. How much do we pay for these?
So for the controller,
Yep.
we spent $9.
Totally worth it.
And for the memory card, we spent just under $4.
Brother, I don't want to jinx us, but we doing good today? Do we find good items? I mean, obviously, of dubious authenticity, of course. I'm just evaluating. But theoretically, did I find good stuff on AliExpress? Next up, we have, oh, it's the little, I was gonna say fake Z Flip. The little phony dude. It's not, a little bit like a Z Flip, but it's also like a bunch of other things. I actually wanna see it in person to show you what I'm talking about. So from this side, it looks like a Z Flip. So you've got the fake iPhone camera bumps. I don't think any of those are real, and you got a little fake screen. And then if you look on this side, it shows rotary phone, and you've got the display.
Why is it purple?
So you see the phone, right? So iPhone.
Oh, get out of here.
So it rotates out. You also have little lights and like a selfie mirror, and then you pivot it. So it's a little bit like a Sidekick-ish.
This was like the thing that you win at like the top tier of stacker at your local pizza joint.
Let me plug it in, see if I can get it to light up. But that's not doing anything, and the green button's not doing anything.
Open up the back and see if the battery.
It does not open up.
What? What?
No, it's too little for that. Go try.
I just realized that we also can't use this phone at all.
What do you mean?
Because it only operates on 2G, which no longer exists in the US.
2G only?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But wait. So it's a 2G phone,
So it's edge?
but it's styled like a modern phone.
It could also just take an insanely long time to charge.
Okay, we'll let this charge overnight and see if tomorrow when we get in, if it's either caught the studio on fire or our fidget toy, our 18 Pro is ready to go. Alrighty, 24 hours later, does our phone actually turn on? So,
Ooh, a little twisty boy?
it is a twisty boy. It's a dead twisty boy, which is the worst kind of twisty boy.
Oh.
Yeah, it's still not doing anything. Like, this thing is
don't
actually
call-
pretty cool if it worked. Clearly it doesn't work. How much did we pay for it though? It was super cheap, right?
Yes, this was just over $16.
This has a flashlight button.
If it worked, I would be very happy. It does not work. I am moderately less happy. But you know what? The rest of the items have been so good, I'm chilling. Oh, I think I know what this one is. Ambernic are quite famous for making a lot of, I will say, Game Boy inspired looking little emulator handhelds. Well, they have become so popular that there are now knockoffs of the Ambernic, including this, which is the game console R36S. Now there are a bunch of these and they've gotten absurdly cheap. We took a look at one not too long ago and I was floored at what you were able to get. Yeah, this looks exactly like the other models I've tried. So it is transparent black. Yeah, so you've got your dual analog sticks. It's got that sort of Game Boy style sort of button layout, except you do have the X and Y. You do have a bunch of triggers which kind of weirdly set up on the back. And you have a pair of USB-C ports as well as 1 and 2, yes, micro SD card slots. I like how one of the micro SD cards for the actual ROMs and stuff has a little sticker over it. So, don't worry, that's not a micro SD, it's just a quality sticker. Alex, can you help me out here a little bit? What would I pay for the authentic version, if you could find it, of this Ambernic?
I think so. If we were to compare it to an Ambernic,
Yep.
It's like an RG35 something. It's in the rough neighborhood of $80.
Okay, we paid way less than $80. Wasn't this like $35 or something?
Even cheaper. We paid 23 something.
For
This is
something with a
insane.
screen like that, that's like a good screen.
Yeah, 15,084 games preloaded for $23. Now, I, being a upstanding citizen who is a huge fan of intellectual property, I'm gonna take this SD card out and report it to the authorities and load my own hand-dumped ROMs one by one, all 15,000, as soon as we're done with this video. But let me just evaluate how good these games are. How about we do Mortal Kombat? Okay, I don't know what my controls are. Oh, okay, the D-pad works at least a little bit. And performance is actually not terrible. Should you condone these kind of knockoff emulator handhelds? Of course not. I would never, ever tell you to buy one of these. It's immoral, probably illegal, and definitely not available on AliExpress for $24. I'm not giving you a link because I would not tell you to buy this. Ha, 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 ha. It actually showed up.
I don't like that you're laughing like that.
I am laughing at this because, speaking of things that are illegal and potentially gonna get me in trouble, this is an innocuous looking 2.5-inch SATA hard drive enclosure. It's just an enclosure, don't worry about it. especially when you flip it over and see it says old 500 gigs, same. Look at how generic this is. There's clearly nothing nefarious inside this box that's very generic on purpose, right?
Hey!
So it is a clear cassette-style hard drive enclosure. So USB 3 to SATA 3. It is the older school USB 3.0, but it does come with the cable. So if you actually look at it closely, it shows you, how to find out, blah, 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 how big it is. It is preloaded with the Bacotera game system, and if you flip it over, it specifically tells you to go to the ROMs folder.
Oh,
if buying Ambernics full of ROMs wasn't enough, how about 500 gigabytes of ROMs?
That's so many ROMs.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's
Because
like
ROMs are not big.
What do I plug this into? Because I'm not plugging it into my laptop.
Ken's got one right here.
it's a Mac. Macs can't play games.
You're right. That's
You plug it into Alex's computer. He's the only Windows computer here.
So
The HP stream is outside.
let's use the HP stream.
Oh my god, that screen flexed so
Yeah.
much when you opened it.
Oh, this is meant to be booted from. Oh, wait.
Wait, that's actually kind of better.
I'm actually gonna boot off this hard drive. So the keyboard shortcuts are immediately working for like the screen and whatnot. All right, so favorites, 32X, oh gosh, okay, 3DO, 3DS, Amiga, Amstrad, Apple II, Arcade, Atari 2600, 5200, 7800, 800, Atari Lynx, whoa. Y'all, this is wild. Now, here's the thing. There are legitimately, I can believe, 100,000 ROMs on here. Now, I don't want to judge how well they run because I'm running on an HP stream, which is, the power of a potato. I'm going to try to play one game just to make sure these are actual real ROMs. Well, this is a good sign. When we're playing PS1, it actually has a correct border around the 16:9 display. Hey, all right, yes, we are good. This is fully functional. Oh, I just launched a missile. Oh no, I hate when I accidentally launch a missile. I think it's pretty safe to say that this is fully functional and maybe the best use of an HP stream of all time. What do we pay for our 500 gigabyte hard drive with our adorable little enclosure that looks like a cassette player and some ROMs which we're all gonna take turns of disposing of as soon as we're done with the video?
We paid $16.
1.6 for a 500 gig hard drive by itself. Holy shit. We have done videos looking at fake stuff in the past and whatnot, and almost always it's a disaster, right? It's like, oh, this thing is dumb, it's way too expensive. AliExpress, like, wow. It's clearly not all gonna be good, but so far, our record is above average.
That's what we strive for here.
Oh, I know this one. It is smartphone. Now, those astute among you may recognize a little bit of a similarity to a certain Samsung flagship phone that comes also in a very similar black box, but it doesn't say Samsung anywhere, so copyright not intended. But it does say S25 Ultra.
Wow, that box really is very similar.
Yes.
Just thicker, that's all.
It is literally just doesn't say Samsung on it. Okay, well.
What's that reaction?
Yeah, that's a great.
I mean, the plastic looks a little bit fake, but the phone not so much. So, let's put it the other way. Oh. I mean, it's not real. But, yeah, I mean, they're definitely not, they're not inspired. They're just straight ripping the S24 or S25 or whatever you want to call it. Even down to the point where the fake cameras, because I'll tell you that that's the only real camera and these are all fake, the fake like telephoto lens even looks a little bit different. Without turning that on, Ken, you've used the S25.
Yeah.
Look at that.
The back glass feels pretty similar. The front with the screen protector feels a little cheapy, but I mean, whatever. S Pen? Mm-hmm.
Hey.
Ooh, a little.
Ooh,
Well, actually, no. It catches on the end, just like an S24.
Wow.
Pull that. Pull my pen. See?
Now here's the thing, does it have a fake One UI? Because most of the time these things do have an actual somewhat real looking interface, especially the Android phones. Oh yeah, that's very Samsung-y.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's.
Not exactly snappy. That's going at about 10 FPS. Yeah, that's not great.
So this is what it looks like. So I'm gonna go ahead and cover each camera lens, okay? So this one, and then this one, right? Right?
Yeah. Also at about 5 FPS.
This is an actually relatively well done dupe. Clearly not as good as the real thing, but physically it looks very similar. Software-wise, it's definitely themed. Like if you had like a photo of a real S25, like you're looking at it like, oh yeah, like that actually looks like pretty accurate. And while I would not recommend you to get one, if some dude tries to sell you this out of the back of his 2007 Toyota Corolla that you met on Facebook Marketplace for $200, don't buy it, because we paid a whole lot less than that. Alex, this was less than $100, right?
It was $71.
$71 for a dupe of a $1,400 phone. Again, we don't condone any of these things. Not downloading buying ROMs, and definitely not buying fake phones. But you should know that these things are out here. And a lot of the times, fakes are super easy to spot. This one, not so much. I mean, it feels pretty legit. The software looks okay, especially if you don't take a super close look at it, man. I don't know. Speaking of fake but bad, you know, I was going through some of the Pokemon listings.
Oh my God.
And I noticed another thing that I was very curious to try. This, my friends, is a
like that?
dupe copy of Pokemon Gold for Game Boy. A pretty authentic looking cartridge. It does have the right kind of like gold texture. It's not the right color, but it does have like little sparkles on it. You also can see that the label, it's not quite right. Again, it looks like it's been weirdly sort of scanned, so like the print quality is not quite there. But I'll tell you, that's a pretty authentic looking dupe. That looks like Pokemon Gold to me.
Hello, I'm Professor Moke. I catch things called Pokemon.
How much do we pay for this quite decent looking dupe cartridge?
$5 for this.
Again, a little bit morally dubious, but if your options are $70 for the real thing, $5 for this, or downloading a ROM or using like some kind of flash cart, I'm not snitching. This is the Game Flash Pro, which is a Game Boy Color flash cart.
He's doing, oh my God.
You just went on that whole rant.
Yeah, instead of paying the $5 for your stupid reproduction cartridge, get this thing that has that game anyway and like 50 million other ones.
Here's the thing, if you just want convenience, you get this, you load it up. So this already has the SD card installed. So theoretically, if I fire it up, come online, there we go. So now we have all of our very many Game Boy as well as Game Boy Color games. So let's do GBCU, which,
Oh,
it loaded Amazing Tater.
Amazing Tater's what they called me in college.
Well, we're
Is
playing
it just
Super
Amazing Tater?
again.
It's only Amazing Tater.
Oh my God, Amazing Tater again.
Oh my God, what?
No, I messed that one up too.
Okay, do you want to take a guess at what the values are for this game right now?
I would love to know.
This has got to be a dupe, $35. All the other ones,
Yeah.
take a guess.
For Amazing Tater for Game Boy,
Yeah.
$50.
$600 with no box, just the game. $6,500 with box, poster, everything. $3,500 complete in box.
How much did I pay for my Game Boy Flash GB for Game Boy and Game Boy Color?
we paid $17 for that.
Which seems incredibly expensive, except for the fact that it's a Game Boy card. It's a flash
it's pretty
card.
expensive when you're a little Ambernick guy. With
That's
like
true.
about
I want
ruins
to play
everything.
Game Boy Advance games.
Yeah, and
Well-
also 16 of those dollars was just for Amazing Tater.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
fair. That's fair. Honestly, that's valid. This, oh my God. Yes. So I bought some fake Galaxy Buds, and they had poorly photoshopped it. This actually has the Samsung logo. Out of all the things we bought, this might be the only one that actually is trying to be completely and totally a dupe, because even like the fake S25 didn't say Samsung anywhere. This straight up says Samsung on it. I'm calling the Secret Service. Here's the thing, I actually like the Galaxy Buds 3 Pro a lot. I daily drove these for like 6 months before I realized that they just didn't quite fit in my ears right. Other than that, like they're actually really good headphones. So I feel like I can judge these pretty fairly, but I mean, there's no ambiguity here. So these are, again, it very clearly says Samsung on the actual case. Pop it open. Wow, the spring is,
Springy?
it's like aggressive. So some of the stuff is fake. Like that sensor is just painted on. These grills are also probably not real. There's like nothing actually behind them.
There's no LED light, right?
There's no LED light as well. Let me actually see if I can get these to pair, and we'll see how they sound. But this is, out of all the things we've looked at today, maybe the most egregious?
I will also say that AliExpress agrees with you that these are the most egregious. Of all the items that we've tested thus far, this is the only one where the listing was taken down.
Let me evaluate how the Buds 3 Pro sound.
I could tell by his body language that it's really good. He's also listening to Kendrick.
I could also tell.
Yeah.
These actually sound good.
So you were listening to Not Like Us.
You could tell?
Yeah.
That was 20% volume.
No, we couldn't hear any of it. We could just tell
Yeah,
from you.
literally based on just your movements, both
Yeah.
of us were
Really?
like,
I'm so honored. My
Also, I'm
dancing's
pretty
not
sure-
that good?
No, I'm pretty sure you just
No.
committed a hate crime.
Okay, now, let me be clear. These do not sound as good as the Buds 3 Pro. For sure not. I expected these to be like $5 headphones. They actually sound pretty decent.
Apart from the lyrics that need Jesus, that's brilliant, actually, considering how much did you pay?
We paid $16.
Yeah, actually
The
though.
real versions of these are $200, I think. These are incredibly egregious fakes. They're also pretty good headphones. All right, last but maybe least, we have, oh snap, I forgot we ordered this. What voice was it? The first generation iPod Shuffle.
What? Wait, what?
God, the gum.
So it is literally USB and all a complete dupe of not the like cool little square iPod Shuffle. The like Ken just did a video on this. So it does have a micro SD card slot on the side, which is unfortunately empty. So I'd actually have to load some music up on that. But you've got your little like, oh god, that button is absolutely terrible. Look at that.
Pristine in the box. Keep it that way. The pristine part, you can take
Okay,
it out of the box.
okay, cool. How much do you pay for a sealed in box real iPod Shuffle?
$70.
So you've got all the accessories too. Can I actually use that lanyard? Because
Yeah.
it's just USB-A, right?
Yeah.
So I can do this. I could be in like the iPod commercial. I'll actually look at the iPod itself. Now, mine is very cheap feeling. Yours feels a little bit nicer, but I mean, come on. Tell me that that is not almost one-to-one. The big difference is that the buttons don't have any color to them, so like the buttons feel terrible compared to yours. All right, let me see if I can turn this thing on and see if it works. Oh my God, it's got like FM radio. I hear static. Wait,
No,
Or maybe it is just an FM radio.
so a lot of MP3
what did you put?
players.
Did you put like nature songs on this?
No?
I hear nature sounds. It literally, all that's on here is the sound of the ocean and waves crashing.
Oh, he did crab rave.
Yeah.
Oh, it's crab rave! I'm locking in, boys.
Okay, what the? Right, now you're just stealing Childish Gambino's dance.
Okay.
It is so deep fried in these headphones, and the bass is clipping so hard.
They were not good headphones, and then
How much do we pay for this iPod Shuffle first gen?
How much do you think we paid?
Wasn't it like $5 or something?
We paid $1.
Yo.
99 cents, baby.
AliExpress is the home of many wonderful products, some of which are of dubious realness. However, this has been fun. I'm gonna report all the fakes to the authorities. Don't worry, after carefully deleting all of them. But wow, what an experience we have had.
So what you're saying is fakes are better than real stuff.
No, because I respect intellectual property rights, but I may be placing another order for science on AliExpress real quick before these things get taken down.